Hello, everyone, and welcome to Out and Equal's 2019 Workplace Summit Kickoff Call. This is Isabel Porras, O&E University Director. This is going to be a 1-hour broadcast audio call, so please make sure you've turned on the speakers or headphones in your computer and turn the volume all the way up. If you have any trouble signing in, I will share a dial-in number with you shortly. As you have questions and comments during the call, please use the chat box on your left-hand side to share those. This call will be recorded, and it, along with the slide deck, will be available afterwards. We intend this call to be a reference point for key dates and deadlines, points of contact, and information on registration, workshop submissions, and Audi awards. So please consider sharing this call with your summit planning team, with your company's summit planning team. We have quite a lot to cover on the call today, from what's new this year to all things registration and housing. We will also address this year's Audi Awards nomination process and provide information for those interested in sponsoring Summit. And of course, we'll be covering my favorite aspect of Summit, which is the workshops, and we'll reserve time for your questions. Without any further ado, I'd like to welcome our Chief Executive Officer, Erin Uvidas, to officially kick off the 2019 Workplace Summit session.
Thank you so much, Isabel. And wow, it is hard to believe we're kicking off another summit. I feel like I was just celebrating with all of you, all 6,000 of you in Seattle. I'm so delighted to be hosting Summit this year in my home city of Washington, D.C., and I cannot wait to welcome you all here. So as you all could probably feel the same, we are having Summit in D.C. at such an interesting time in our country. Still navigating a challenging and really divisive political climate, but also looking with kind of unbound hope to the future as 2020 approaches. So I'm so proud of how our community, the Out and Equal community, will show up in Washington this fall as really a beacon of unity. And if ever the power of diversity and impact of inclusion could be highlighted, this will be the year and this will be the city. So we have a phenomenal event planned for you, and the team is going to walk you through some highlights. So please stay on until the very end, because throughout this call, you're going to hear the innovative and brilliant new programming you can expect this year. There are some big surprises, and I wish this was a video call so I could see all of your faces when we talk to you about them, but I guess I'll have to wait for October. Again, thank you all for calling in. Thank you for everything you're doing to bring your teams, your ERGs, your coworkers, your allies, your executives, and yourselves to Summit. I cannot wait to welcome you to the 2019 Out and Equal Workplace Summit in Washington, D.C. Back to you, Isabel.
Great. Excellent. Thank you. I'd like to introduce Kira.
Thanks, Erin. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kira Jackson. I'm the Associate Director of Events, and I would also like to start off by thanking all of you for joining us for the 2019 Summit Kickoff Call. All right, before I dive into what's new at Summit, we're going to do a quick poll. Please share with us if you've attended our annual Workplace Summit. Well, it looks like Seattle is the front runner. There's a lot of people returning from last year. Philadelphia is a second. And it also looks like there's a good amount of you who have never attended Summit. So welcome to our first-timers. We're excited to have you. And for those of you returning, we look forward to seeing your familiar faces in October. So what's new in 2019? Well, to start, we are back on the East Coast. As Erin mentioned, Out and Equal is extremely excited to be in D.C. National Harbor for this year. We'll be hosting Summit at the Gaylord National Resort and Convention Center. It's a great waterfront venue with our meeting spaces and hotel guest rooms wrapped into one, which we hope all of you will get to see and experience in October. Leadership Day kicks off the conference on Monday, October 14th. And then Workplace Summit will take place from Tuesday, October 15th through Thursday, October 17th. The theme this year is Be Bold, Be Brave, Belong. So you'll be seeing, hearing, and hopefully embracing this theme throughout the week. While Leadership Day has been a part of Summit for some years now, we are excited to introduce regionally focused global tracks. You'll hear more about these details on this call during our workshop session. One new event this year is our Executive Fireside. If you're interested in having your executive featured here, please be sure to connect with us about becoming a sponsor, and keep an eye out for more information about this event in the coming months. Lastly, we have a new slate of ticketed events for 2019. The Global Dinner is returning, but we have 3 new events that you can add to your summit experience. We have a Solos Dinner, which is a great opportunity for those individuals who are not attending Summit with their colleagues to meet other solo attendees. There are also 2 new breakfast events taking place on Wednesday morning. We have a speed networking breakfast, and for those of you who attended Summit in Seattle last year, we have our After the Blizzard, a Snowflake follow-up, which is an extension of the mass participation event from Power Lunch. And now I will turn it over to Annalicia Hawkins.
Thanks, Kira, and thank you everyone for joining the call today. My name is Annalicia, and I am an events manager at Out and Equal, and I'm here today to tell you about the registration process for Summit this year. Here we have our Summit registration rates. Our full conference 3-day package this year will be $1,600 for the standard early bird rate. Government early bird will be $1,000. Presenter early bird is $800. For Leadership Day, standard early bird rate is $250. Government early bird is $125, and presenter early bird is $150. Our Thursday only early bird rate is $750, and for gala dinner only it is $200. Our early bird rate is open now to June 26th. Regular rate will open June 27th and go till September 27th. And then our final rate will be September 28th to October 14th. You can also view the full rate sheet right now on our website. Please note that if you are a government employee or a presenter, you will need to contact registration at outandequal.org to obtain that separate link to register. We are using the same registration website as last year, but please create a new registration account even if you have attended Summit before. Here is the first thing that you will see when you click on the link to register. If you have been given a registration code due to your company's sponsorship, you can enter it here where it says discount code. Codes will be sent out to the designated sponsor contact at your company beginning today. Please ensure that you select standard attendee unless you are an exhibitor in our engagement center and you will not be attending the rest of the conference. Here are the registration options you can select from. If you click on More Info, you will be able to see what is included in each of these packages. Please note that we do not offer single-day registrations other than Leadership Day only and Thursday only. When you click through, you can select from our ticketed events, including some of the exciting new events that Kira was talking about earlier. Note that the Global Dinner and Solos Dinner are held at the same time this year, as well as after the Blizzard and the Speed Networking Breakfast. Next, we have our Leadership Day courses. More sessions will be added to the registration site soon. Important note regarding some new details this year, we are offering Leadership Day courses in the morning and again in the afternoon. When you go to register, you will see that all courses are the same for both sessions, excluding Lobby Day. And please ensure that you do not select the same course for both sessions, as this means you will be repeating the first session. If you have any questions regarding Leadership Day specifically, you can contact university@outandequal.org. Lastly, registration is now open on our website. You can go to outandequal.org right now and click on the link to register. You can also access the Summit FAQ, which contains important information regarding registration, housing, attire, and exhibitors. If you have any questions regarding registration, or if you have a group of 10 or more attendees you would like to register, please contact registration@outandequal.org. And now I am going to pass it off to my colleague Sam.
Thanks, Annalicia, and thank you to everyone for being on the call today. My name is Sam Merston. I'm an events manager here at Out and Equal. I'm going to give you a quick overview of our housing process this year, as well as our prestigious Audi Awards. The Gaylord National Harbor is not only our venue for Summit, but it is also our anchor hotel. We do have 2 overflow hotels, the Residence Inn and the Westin. Both are very close, around a 2 to 3 minute walk, depending on how fast you walk. Here's a map just to give you a better idea of how close our overflow hotels actually are. So you can use the links on our Summit Housing page to book your hotel. If you click the name of the property, it'll take you directly to the hotel site where you can book within our block. The rates of each hotel are also listed on this page. We have a limited amount of government rooms available, and if you are a government attendee, you can email us directly for us to connect you to our hotel contact, or you can call the hotel directly and tell them that you would like a government rate room within the Out and Equal block. If your delegation exceeds more than 10 people, you can request a rooming block by emailing housing@outandequal.org. We do expect to sell out at all 3 hotels this year. The hotels may even be fully booked as early as May, so please start making arrangements and booking housing as soon as possible. If you have any questions about booking housing or just housing in general, feel free to email us at housing@outandequal.org. It is now my great privilege to announce the 2019 Audi Awards. This year we've expanded our categories to fully highlight the powerful and inspiring work that so many of you are doing around the world. Applications will be open on March 29th and will remain open until June 15th. This year the awards are the Ally Changemaker. The Ally Changemaker Award recognizes an LGBT ally who has made a significant contribution to advancing workplace equality. This person is an action-oriented changemaker. They uplift the voices of marginalized groups and have shown a unique commitment to LGBT workplace rights, and will use their talents to further that cause, even if at some risk. And the next award is the ERG Legacy. This award recognizes a particular employee resource group that has a proven track record of success over the course of at least 15 years. An ERG that is continuously elevating diversity, demonstrating change, and advocating for LGBT rights in the workplace. The LGBT Commercial of the Year Award is our People's Choice Award. Our attendees will vote leading up to our 2019 Summit for the best LGBT marketing commercial of the year. It's a great opportunity to show us what you are showing the world. If you're looking for brownie points, involve your ERG. The LGBT Corporate Advocate of the Year. This award recognizes an LGBT individual who is actively advocating to make their company the best that it could be. This person goes above and beyond to push for diversity and inclusion. Corporate advocates are bold and are making a difference outside their company to drive change and equality in their community, their country, and the world. Our new ERG Chapter of the Year Award. This award recognizes an ERG chapter that has been established within the last 2 years. The ERG can have existed longer than that, but the chapter must be new. This award recognizes a new chapter that has made a bold impact at their company in their first few years. Try considering chapters that have started around the globe. Our Workplace Excellence Award. The Workplace Excellence Award recognizes an employer that has a historic and ongoing commitment to pursuing and executing workplace equality for LGBT employees in their workplace. This employer has a history of not only continually raising the bar of workplace equality for others to follow, but also helps other companies' diversity and inclusion efforts as well. Again, the application process as well as the descriptions of our awards will be posted on our site on March 29th. We look forward to receiving your nominations. And if you have any questions at all, you can reach out to me at smerston@outandequal.org. Thanks for listening, and I will now turn it over to Alyssa Jarvis.
Thanks, Sam. Hi, everyone. I'm excited to discuss partnership opportunities for this year's Workplace Summit. Before I dive into a few sponsorship details, I first want to say thank you to, I actually want to ask you a survey question. Is your company a current 2019 Workplace Summit sponsor? It looks like many of our webinar attendees are currently with a sponsoring company, which is great. And with that, I do want to say thank you to the 62 partners who have already committed their sponsorship for this year's Workplace Summit Conference. And to get a sense of who is on the call, please tell us if you're an LGBTQ ERG leader, member, a D&I professional, HR professional, an executive sponsor, an executive, or a line of business leader. And it looks like we have quite a few LGBTQ ERG leaders on the call, so thank you for joining us. Last year's summit saw 6,000 people from 32 countries, representing over 16 industries, most notably from tech and financial banking industries. And we had almost 75% of summit attendees identify within the LGBT community, and a third of summit attendees were people of color. 7 of our summit sponsors sent more than 50 employees to last year's summit, which is quite a large delegation, and we hope to see even bigger delegations in DC this year. With summit sponsorship, our partners receive a booth in our exhibit hall, which we call the Engagement Center. The Engagement Center is a great opportunity for marketing and engagement with summit attendees. We encourage partners to think beyond the booth, and last year we saw creativity from Dell, who provided custom avatars for summit attendees, fun LGBTQ marketing swag giveaways, snacks, which are always positively received, and much more. We had 80 booths in the Engagement Center in Seattle last year. Some of you may remember Andy's Outpost, Out Equal's official mascot, who will be returning to DC this year. And we also hosted the LGBTQ Career Fair in the Engagement Center, which we will be hosting again at this year's Workplace Summit. In addition to the Engagement Center booth, there is a variety of visibility that our partners receive depending on the level that they decide to sponsor at. Visibility includes branding the Night Out event that we host, speaking on the plenary stage, creating and sponsoring the fun run, and recognition on the sponsorship wall. This year there are 5 levels of sponsorship at Summit. The premier level sponsorship is for first-time partners at Summit only. And from there, we have our Advocate, Champion, Gold, and Presenting level sponsors. If you're interested in learning more about how to become a Summit partner, please email us at partnerships@outandequal.org. And with that, I'll hand it over to Isabel.
Hello again. Okay, so let's talk about workshops, my favorite part of Summit. The call for proposals is already open and accessible via our website. We're using the same service as last year, as it is very straightforward. I don't think you need a new registration account, so if you submitted a proposal last year, you should be able to use your same registration information with proposalspace.com. I want to highly encourage everyone on the call to consider submitting a proposal. Presenters at Summit register at a discounted rate and have access to a presenter lounge as well. And most importantly, Summit is a great opportunity to showcase your work and be recognized as a thought leader, as well as bring visibility to your organization. Out and Equal is committed to showcasing the latest and greatest in LGBTQ workplace equality. Our commitment to Summit participants is threefold. The first is a focus on peer-to-peer education, which centers those working in Fortune 1000 companies or government agencies and allows for the sharing of best practices from those actually living and working on these issues. We also have a commitment to diversity and intersectionality. Our goal is to create an inclusive, authentic, and educational conference environment that encourages participation from all people, regardless of gender identity, gender expression, sexual orientation, race, ethnicity, or ability. It's very important to us that our speakers reflect the diversity of our Summit attendees and our community more broadly, and we're particularly interested in proposals that pay special attention to the workplace experiences of transgender, bisexual, and queer people, as well as LGBTQ people of color. And of course, finally, our commitment to focusing on LGBTQ workplace equality. While Workplace Summit does offer some networking opportunities and some sessions on professional development, we also have that career fair, the bulk of the Workplace Summit is truly dedicated to sharing best practices in order to create and sustain LGBTQ inclusive workplaces. So let's talk a little bit about some of the session formats. As in previous years, we're looking for panels, presentations, workshops, and roundtable discussions. We're also excited to include the Big Ideas track, which we tested in Seattle last year. So these are going to be 15-minute talks featuring innovative ideas or inspirational storytelling. You could either submit an individual talk or get together with a couple of other speakers and propose one thematic session. I especially want to encourage those of you who have already attended Summit, perhaps multiple times, to consider submitting something. Perhaps there's a topic that you've been waiting to see covered at Summit and you don't, and this is the opportunity for you to share that topic yourself. Or you might be wanting to share something, you don't have something full-fledged for a 90-minute workshop, and you might think a Big Ideas track might be the opportunity for that. I also want to highlight the roundtable discussions as an opportunity that I think gets sort of ignored a little bit sometimes in favor of the more standard panel or presentation. So with roundtable discussions, we're looking for folks to host conversations on topics of common interest. So if there's something, a hot topic that you're engaging with either in your ERG or your organization, and you're looking to start a conversation, Summit is a great place to do that. So you could even propose a roundtable where it's not that you are showcasing a final product or end result of something you've done in your workplace, but more just starting a conversation with folks. So I just want to encourage you to think beyond the sort of general panel, which tends to be the most common submission. Submissions proposals are categorized by topic for review as well as for programming purposes. Some areas of focus have remained the same, but we've also added a couple of new areas or merged some different ones. So you'll see here as new ones: belonging and culture, corporate community partnerships, intersectionality, leveraging narratives, and workplace policies and benefits. When you submit a proposal, we ask that you select up to 3 areas of focus. And please note that we may adjust the areas of focus that appear in the final program. We recognize that people will have a lot of information to cover. This is really just to help both our external review committee identify the best sessions, but also for participants to be able to easily find what they are looking for. So I'm sure you're all curious now about how to get accepted. So let's get to that good stuff. We've prepared a workshop submission kit with all of this information. It's available on our website, and I will also make sure to attach that workshop kit to the email you all will receive after this phone call. So after this phone call later today, you will get an email with this PDF of recording of this video as well as that workshop kit. I do want to highlight some of the best practices from that kit though. The call for proposals asks you for a brief abstract, which appears in the Summit program and is meant to attract attendance, as well as an expanded proposal which we use for review. In addition to specifying relevance to LGBTQ workplace inclusion, successful proposals will provide most or all of the items listed here. So an outline of the presentation, a clear description of audience takeaways. I would say that's probably the most important part of your proposal. What am I as an attendee of your session getting out of this? And the clearer that you can articulate that, the better chances your session has. A successful proposal will articulate the method of audience interactivity. Are you breaking out into discussions? Is it a Q&A at the end? Are you having folks participate in some sort of interactive activity? Similarly, explanation of any materials or handouts that you're including. These are not necessary, and some workshops may have no handouts, but if you do think to include those, just as the more detail that you can share, the better. And finally, the primary contact should collect all speaker information, and this includes speaker background as well. It is very important that the proposal primary contacts collect all of the speaker information beforehand. I do want to clarify, we do not share demographic information on speakers externally. We do share aggregate numbers in the trip report, but we do not share individual numbers. But this demographic information is indispensable to ensuring that we have a diverse speaker slate at Summit. Other tips for acceptance include relating your content to workplace equality, as that is our main focus, providing concrete substantive takeaways, so answering that question of what am I getting out of this session, including diverse voices. Pay attention to gender, race, sexuality, age, but also seniority. Also consider folks who've attended Summit multiple times versus first-time attendees. So diversity across multiple dimensions of identity is important. We're also always looking for new workshops, although that does not mean that if you've done a workshop before that it won't be accepted. If you have a workshop that had, or a panel presentation, what have you, that just had excellent feedback in years past and you'd like to recreate it, we're open to that. In your proposal, please articulate what is new or what is different in the session, how you're updating the content, or why the session is still relevant today. And finally, present dynamically. Consider which format is best for your content. As I said, I think the default is the workshop panel, but I want to encourage you to consider debates, roundtables, the big ideas talk, and maybe something that I'm not even thinking of yet. So please be creative in your proposals. Now, we do also need your help, of course, to shape the Workplace Summit. We can't have a successful summit without all of you. So I ask for your help in creating the most engaging and educational summit yet. To do so, I encourage you, especially those of you who've already attended Summit before, to submit a proposal. Here are some other ways that you can help us make Summit inclusive if submitting a proposal is not your interest. Encourage potential speakers to submit a proposal. Forward this call to your contacts, especially to other members of your LGBTQ ERGs or other folks that you might know outside of your organization. Organize some practice events at your company. These are all ideas that can help support the summit and make sure that we have the best educational slate possible. I do want to put out a special call for Leadership Day here. So whether you've previously workshopped a topic and are ready to go beyond that 90-minute overview, or you have a particular initiative or program that you wish to highlight as a case study, we invite you to email a brief paragraph outlining your proposed Leadership Day session to university@outandequal.org. So Leadership Day, as some of you may know, is a full day of in-depth sessions that takes place the Monday before Workplace Summit. These are 3-hour deep dive seminars that we put together. As Kira mentioned at the beginning, we are very excited to have regional dives into global LGBTQ inclusion, and so are looking for proposals in that space. Many of our facilitators from last year will be returning this year, but for those of you who were in Leadership Day last year, you know that we were sold out in each and every one of those courses. So this year we really want to be able to expand the content that we offer, and so we are looking for proposals. So this is especially for those of you who've attended Summit a few times, already know what Summit content looks like, may already have participated in Leadership Day. If you have an interest in workshopping a topic beyond that 90-minute session, whether it's around marketing, anything to do with ERGs, LGBTQ inclusion in global agencies, the global regional studies that we mentioned earlier, corporate activism and advocacy, or talent acquisition, or something that's not listed in here that you're particularly excited about, please email me at university@outandequal.org. We're not doing a formal proposal for Leadership Day. I just want to have a conversation with interested folks, so please send that my way. Now let's talk about key dates and deadlines. I'm sure a lot of folks are wondering about those as well. The online proposal submission portal has been open since February 11 and will close on April 12. Our workshop review committee will then review all proposals, and we want to send out notifications by May 6th. Please save August 27th for a workshop presenter town call. So with that, and I know that there's lots of questions coming in as well, I shall turn it over to Kira for additional deadlines and contact info. Kira?
Hey, thanks, Isabel. So before we start our Q&A, we would like to leave you with some important contact information as well as key dates and deadlines. Here is a reference page for your main Out and Equal contacts. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to the corresponding contacts, and they will be happy to assist you. As far as key dates and deadlines, most of this information was already mentioned during the call, but we wanted to give you a convenient snapshot for you to reference between now and Summit. As Isabel just mentioned, the workshop proposal submission deadline is April 12th. We have 2 deadlines in June, the first being the Audis deadline on June 14th, and then the early bird registration rate ends on June 26th. August 2nd is our Engagement Center booth deadline for sponsors. Our second registration rate change occurs on September 28th. And then, of course, as I previously mentioned, the 3rd week of October is the week of Summit. And with that, I will turn it back over to Isabel for the Q&A.
Excellent. Thank you, Kira. Of course, my computer decided to freeze right as we were doing the questions. So I know one of the questions that came in was around food and just dining options around DC. So curious if we will be sharing any information around that.
Yes, we will have on our website some options for you. National Harbor has lots of different dining opportunities, and it's just kind of it's a great space for our attendees to be able to just kind of walk around some nice site attractions as well. So we will be posting that information on our website to provide for you all.
Excellent. Okay, so more questions coming in. Let me see here. Okay, this is a question for me, so I'll take it. Our company had 3 workshops last year, looking to submit more this year, but the cutoff date is looking a little sooner than previous years. Any chance of extending the deadline to submit our proposals? We are open to extending the deadline, but with some caveats. I really, really want to urge everyone on the call to submit by April 12th. For those of you who are on the call, a little secret that's not available elsewhere, the proposal phase system will allow you to submit after April 12th, I've set it up this way, if you have created a draft beforehand. So if you're worried about that deadline, please submit a draft beforehand. Now, those of you who are submitting multiple workshops because you're submitting on behalf of your organization, please email me at university@outandequal.org for us to discuss some ways that we can maybe extend the deadline for you. So I understand that some companies are compiling workshops internally first and then submitting them. If this is the case for you and April 12th is a hardship, please email me and let me know and we'll work something out. But for those of you who are submitting individual workshops, it is a lot harder to extend the deadline for individual workshops, so I really want to encourage you to submit as early as possible. Okay, so let's see. Another question. I believe this one might be for Sam. I'm sorry, for Alicia. It's registration related. What does the full conference registration actually include?
Yes, so the full conference registration will include access to all plenaries, including the gala dinner, all workshop sessions, the engagement center, and access to night out.
Okay, excellent. Is there a cutoff date to determine whether my company can sponsor the Workplace Summit? I believe that's for you, Alyssa.
Thank you. And the quick answer is no. My recommendation is to confirm sponsorship by mid-July, because at that point we start approaching some fulfillment deadlines, which include branding and program ad submissions. The engagement center shipping dates are coming up, as well as some registration deadlines too. So I recommend mid-July for anyone that is considering sponsoring Summit this year.
Excellent, thank you. I will see here, there's another question. It's a registration workshop question, so I'm going to jump in and take it. If our proposal is accepted and our company is presenting, how many attendees can get the presenter rate? This is an excellent question. So depending on the presenters that are included in your workshop submission, those are the folks who will get the presenter rate discount. Please keep in mind that we have a max of 5 speakers per session, and when you have more than 2 or 3 speakers, we're also looking at what exactly are each of these speakers contributing to that panel or to that workshop. A panel makes sense to have 5 people as opposed to a more interactive workshop. So please articulate what each speaker on that panel or session will be contributing. But to give you the quick and dirty answer, it's up to 5 speakers per session. Let me see. Okay, so I'm not trying to hog all of the attention, but it seems a lot of the questions are workshop related. So someone mentions that due to the 6,000 attendees last year, many of the workshops filled up quickly. Will capacity concerns be addressed better this year? Yes, thank you for that. We definitely did have an increase in workshop attendance last year. We're happy to say that we have a great layout of space at the Gaylord this year, and so I think we will be mitigating some of the space limitations that way. We're being more intentional about setting up particular workshops that we know will be high traffic in bigger rooms. But of course we cannot guarantee seating in rooms yet. The only people we can guarantee that for are for folks who have mobility or ability issues that will need accommodation, and we would like to know that ahead of time. We do have a 30-minute break in between workshop sessions, and so really strongly recommend that folks get to their sessions early, even if it is to just drop a bag or a sweater to claim a seat and then go have a drink or network with folks in the hall. So really want to encourage you to get to your workshops early because as this person notes, they are becoming increasingly popular and because of fire marshal limitations, we have to cap the entrance at certain moments. Okay, I do see a question about the career fair. So will there be a career fair again this year? I believe that's a question for you, Alyssa.
Yes, we are planning on hosting a career fair again at this year's summit. And we are still working out a couple details of that event, and we'll hopefully have some announcements to make in the coming months. So stay tuned for more updates on the career fair.
Excellent, thank you. I see that we have a question here. I noticed on your website that you can volunteer. If we plan to purchase registration, would we get a discount if we chose a day to volunteer as one of the benefits? So I think the question is, can you articulate what are the volunteer benefits and sort of requirements as well? That would be a question for you, Sam, I believe.
This is actually a question for Annalicia, so I'll pass it on to her.
Hi. So yes, volunteers for Summit will have access to the workshop sessions for the day that they volunteer for. So if you are planning on volunteering, you can contact actually registration@outandequal.org. You can contact that email and let them know that you are planning on volunteering. I would hold off on registering if you do plan on volunteering for now, but if you do register and you do end up volunteering, then we would be able to work that out with you. So just contact registration for more details about volunteering.
Excellent, thank you. I do see, I'm sorry about that, Annalicia, that I gave it to the wrong person. I do see that there's a question on workshops. Will there be workshops geared towards nonprofit organizations? We do have this new track on corporate community partnerships. As I mentioned in our sort of educational outline, our focus is on Fortune 1000 and government agency employees. However, we did see an increase in workshops over the last year or so that are highlighting corporate community partnerships. So we're really excited to continue including those sessions this year. If you are with a nonprofit that is interested, I would say go through your corporate partners, identify your corporate partners, and frame the conversation that way. That's also a question because of who our attendees are. I think the sessions that are geared towards how corporations can better engage with nonprofits and some of the successful ways that they've supported LGBTQ equality through those partnerships will be most successful. I think we've answered many of the questions. I see one. Can you put the bit.ly links for housing back on screen? So I'm going to ask Sam if you could just slide us back to that page from your information. I think someone wanted to just kind of copy that information ahead of time. Let's see. Another question around registration. Is there a group rate for 4 or more attendees?
We do not have a group rate for Summit. If you would like to register a group of 10 or more, you can contact registration for an easier way to register, but we do not have a special discount rate for groups.
Excellent, thank you. Another registration question, but I'm going to take it, it's about workshops. Do you need to be registered for Summit before submitting a workshop proposal? You do not. And in fact, this is also one of the reasons why our deadlines are moved up. We wanted to be able to allow enough time for folks to get that early bird registration if their workshop was not selected. So if your workshop is selected, you will receive a separate link, as Annalicia mentioned earlier, to register using the presenter discount. You do not need to register ahead of time. Let's see. Another question on wellness. Will there be wellness activities again, like morning yoga?
There might be. We are planning on having a wellness lab. It might be yoga, it might be Zumba, it might be something else related to wellness, so you'll have to stay tuned.
All right, exciting. Folks can bring their dancing shoes and the yoga mats. What is the regular rate for Leadership Day? Annalicia?
The regular rate is $300 for the standard rate, and that'll begin on June 27th.
Okay, excellent. I'm just kind of scrolling back. So we have another request for a different slide. Can you go back to the slide that captures email addresses? So yes, we're going to go to that contact information slide now. Let me just double check. I think we have answered pretty much everything that has been asked. There's one more question here around silent disco. Will there be another silent disco?
Yes, it was such a big hit last year. We are definitely planning on having this silent disco back this year as well.
Exciting, yes. I know a lot of folks were very much into that. Okay, I think we have reached the end of our questions. We will, of course, be looking through any of the chats for anything that wasn't answered, and we can follow up with you directly. I see that many of the questions that are coming in now are about the deck itself. Yes, we will share the deck with you after the call. We will also share the recording with you after the call, and I mentioned the workshop kit. So in a few hours, you will be receiving an email with quite a lot of attachments on it. But with that, you have our contact information for any questions that you may have, whether they be housing, outing nominations, registration, sponsorship, or of course, workshops. With that, I want to say thank you so much to everyone who has joined us on the call today. Again, if you have any questions after the call, please feel free to email one of us listed here in the contact information. We will share this information with you after. I'm seeing some folks dialing in. There might be an issue with the bit.ly, so we'll make sure to share that in the body of the email we send to you as well. But with that, just want to thank everyone. We are so excited to see you in National Harbor later this year. Thank you, everyone.